Hey everyone, just thought I'd reach out and let you know where things were at. It's been a dramatic build up to everything that went down in terms of going to Ukraine. So this is what happened. Um, I made a buddy at the hostel, this British guy, Ash, solid dude, absolutely solid dude. Not really like any military experience or anything, but just like rock solid dude who you want by your side and watching your back, right? So him and I were like, stuck together like glue, just fucking awesome, right? So we decided we're gonna do this together. We're gonna stay together through everything, right? And so we started on the path together to go to Ukraine and join the fight. Um, Took a little while to find the connections. We finally got the connections, figured out where we had to go when, meet the right people. Uh, we went to go make the connect at the rally point. It ended up being at the airport. Met a bunch of other people that were showing up. It was like, okay, this is cool, but like certainly, like not the kind of people I expected per se. Um, so basically, we all get on this bus, right, in the middle of the night, and we're headed to the Ukraine, and so we're rolling along, and it's all right. Me and Ash are hanging out together near the back. There's about 12 people in all. As we stop, people are getting on the bus too. I mean, it was kind of wild, man. Like, Ash and I are pretty somber during the ride because we're like, this is fucking serious shit we're about to go into. I mean, these guys are like, the best way I could describe it is like cherries when you join the military, like myself included. You're all like super happy, like, well, this is gonna be fun. Before you get that rude fucking awakening when you arrive, at 30th AG at Benning, and you're just like meet your drill sergeant for the first time and realize how fucked up shit really is, right? And that's kind of how that was. And so me and Ash are kind of like, side glancing at each other the whole way, rolling there like, this is fucking wild, man. And we're rolling in the middle of the night until we like arrive at the border, essentially at this fucking like the best way I could describe it is like this tiny like little overlook hotel in rural Poland, right at the border, and basically the bus just drops us there and then takes off. Right, we're like, well, what the fuck is this? I mean, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, this is how things go. I mean, I expected something along the lines to happen. Like these guys are all these young guys that don't know shit about shit are just like, oh, like we need to call someone. And I'm like, man, just like let's wait it out. And like so we're sitting in this weird ass little like overlook hotel, fucking just being mad dogged by locals. Like it's just like the moodiest place maybe I've ever been in my life. And I've been to some fucking moody places, right? Me and Ash are like, oof. And like I forgot to mention there was like this fellow along that was like an observer. He was recording, the information of how this goes down in terms of what happens. I was talking to him. CIA, like I'm not even. It's not like a brand. I'm not trying to be impressive or some shit, but like he was like just rolling along, gathering info with his little camera, taking pictures. Right, nice guy. Um, Out of DC. So I mean, whatever. But so finally, I mean, like in this place, this little fucking overlook hotel, they're like, yeah, you just hang out here for a while. Um, the fucking finally, some representative from the Ukrainian Defense Force rolls up, and he, gives us the lecture about what's going on and what's going to happen, and then like what it comes down to is like, hey, so this is what's going to have to happen. You're going to give us your passport numbers and you're going to sign a contract uh, stating you'll serve until the end of martial law, right? And I mean, Ash was he fucking rock solid guy. He's there to fight. He's there to do his job too, as was I. But we were kind of like, I'm like, listen, man, like I got a life. I'm committed to 4 months. That's how long I can stay. And he's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, so. Same with Ash. Ash was in a similar position too. He's got kids at home and stuff like that, and he's got like some like obligations he has to be there for, right? And fuck. So I mean, the rest of these guys, like, I mean, they're just fucking clueless, man. Like, they're just absolute, like, meat for the grinder. Like, just guppies, you know. And me and Ash are kind of like, you know, doing that, like, oh, man, this is fucked up. Like, the one kid's like, hey, give us a uniform. And we're like, yeah, that's great. But, like, you understand, like, you sign that contract, like, you lose all autonomy. Like, you're going to go where the fuck they tell you to go, and you're going to do what the fuck they tell you to do. Right? And, like, you know, I understand that's part of military life. I was willing to almost sign up for that, aside from the fact that there was, like, an indefinite contract. I mean, like, you know, martial law, at the end of martial law, like, I mean, that's, even if the war ended tomorrow, it'd probably be martial law for another year while they rebuild. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, it's just too big too much to ask, right? You know what I mean? And, like, I mean, from my position too, especially, I was like, look, I know there's other veterans that are fighting. I know these guys, like, come on, they weren't, they already signed contracts, and, you know, I know they're not signing contracts again. I'm trying to, like, talk to this guy, and, like, come on, just, you know, link me up with the other guys, right? Like, but no, there's, like, a hard line in the sand, because, like, the whole reasoning was, listen, you sign the contract, you must sign the contract, because then you will receive all the benefits and guarantees that, you know, regular Ukrainian army also receive, right? You know, but, like, you know, he's trying to play it like as if it's protection from fucking Putin. But, like, I'm like, listen, pal, like, no offense, I understand what you're saying, but, like, this, you know, whether I sign a paper or not, it's not going to protect me from Putin's show trial or whatever the fuck he wants to do, right? Like, come on, let's not be naive here, right? You know, so basically, Ash and I are not stuck in this fucking, you know, like I said, the mini Polish overlook, middle of fucking nowhere, and we're like, listen, man, like, again, this crew we're with, and there's these sketchy Georgian dudes that were just fucking, like, not right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what is going on, man? And so I'm like, man, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And Ash is already wound up, man. He's just like, I'm not liking it, mate. We gotta get out of here, mate. Oh, he's ready to fucking nick a car, right? You know what I mean? I'm just like, whoa, like, slow your roll, buddy. We're gonna figure this out, right? And of course, I'm trying everything. They, like, Uber, like, fucking talk to the receptionist at the hotel. Like, is there a taxi? He's like, no, there's no fucking taxi here, man. Like, dude, and, like, and so I'm figuring out where we are and, like, where we gotta go. And it's like, I was like, okay, like, yeah, you know, fucking, I found the closest train station. And, like, it's like something like, what was it, like 30 kilometers or something away, like, essentially like a fucking 5-6 hour hike, right? Which I'm like we could do this, man, but it's gonna be fucking awkward, because at this point, I mean, for me personally, I didn't bring any fucking civilian clothes, man. I mean, Ash had that on his side, right? Like, he could blend. Me, man, like, I mean, yeah, I was wearing, like, my black BDU pants, you know, but so it's like kind of like, it wasn't full camo, but, like, I mean, I had that gear in my bag, right? But you know what I mean? Like, I was just like man, like, I mean, everywhere I went, anyways, people are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like clearly, I'm either going to the war, or part of the war, or coming from the war. You know what I mean? Like, which is, like, not a great look. Like, I like to fucking blend. I don't like to stand out like that. It really bugs me. Right? So I'm, like, imagining myself hiking down the fucking highway. And he's like, well, you say hitch a... Actually, well, just hitch a ride, mate. I'm like, no one's fucking picking me up, pal. Look at me, all right? And he's like, yeah. And so, I don't know. I'm like, listen, man, let me work on this, okay? He's like, all right, but this, like, fucking... just fucking hilarious, man. He's just like, man, I don't like it, mate. It's moody as fucking, mate. It's the moodiest place I've ever been. I'm like, yeah, I feel you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I feel you. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh, fucking, let me work on this, right? And so I'm just trying to, you know, suss the situation. I'm seeing lots of locals coming in, because there's, like, a little sort of restaurant, you know, people are coming in for their breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm like, finally I see a guy looks a little bit friendly, like, hey, like, roll up, like, hello. He doesn't speak a lick of English, right? And in fact, like, at first I broke my translator app, so I'm typing in my little thing, like showing it to him, in Polish. But it turns out he's Ukrainian, right? And he's, so Cyrillic alphabet, right? So so figure that out. And we're talking. He's like, back and forth, like he's writing on his phone, I'm writing on my phone. What do you need? I'm like, listen, mate, like we're trying to get to the train station, and like, I had like 120 Zloty on me, which is like $30, right? Which, it's like, I mean, whatever. So I'm like trying like, hey, I'll give you, pay 120 Zloty, you take us to the train station, mate. And he's like, oh no, autobus, like the bus. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bus station closer and cheaper. It's like, oh yeah, right. And so, it's cool, man. And this guy's nice Eastern European dude, right? Big fella, driving his like a fucking beat down Ford Focus fucking station wagon or some shit. Like, I don't know, whatever the fuck. So finally, this whole situation, I'm fucking setting up, on the side, like trying not to let all these other dudes know. And of course, just finally it's like, okay, yeah, like the dude's like, yeah, I'll take you. I'm like, all right, man. And so we just like grab our shit and fucking dip out, right? Like, it's just like, I'm not even gonna try to explain to these dudes, like, I mean, like I said, man, just pure, they're fucking guppies, like soft as cookie dough, right? I'm like, do you not know where the fuck you guys are going? Like, they're taking selfies and all kinds of shit, like just stupid, right? I'm like, oh my fucking God, man. And it's like, I don't know, it's just a conversation I didn't want to have anyways, right? And like, my homeboy from DC, who like we'd been talking at a point, like he was even like, you should, you served, man. Like, you clearly have a better head on your shoulder than most of these guys. You should, like, look out for them. And I'm like, hey, man, I've been fucking highly vigilant about this shit, right? But, I mean, on the same note, like, I was like, listen, man, like, you young man, look, man, you want to make that commitment? You make that commitment, man. Like, it's not for me though. I already did my thing. I already signed a contract. I'm not doing that again. Especially one that has an indefinite term, right? I came here, I wanted to help. But just, I mean, and even Ash is like, that's the elephant in the room no one's talking about, man. I'm like, yeah. So we got our buddy. He's like, wait, taking us to the bus station. Okay. Roll up to the bus station. I'm like, he's like, come on, fucking police, bus everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, Ash, you stay in the car. He's like, come on, let's go. Like, me and dude. Like, Ash, you stay in the car with the gear. He's like, yeah, right. Cause he didn't want to get out either, anyways. Cause he's a bit of a head, right? And like, the place is just filled with police jail, right? And like, I don't know. So I like walking up to this bus station thinking like, fucking Greyhound of Poland, right? Full on refugee center, man. Like, just fucking warehouse packed. Fucking sadness, man. Like, oh my God. And like, just like tired, bedraggled relief workers just trying to help people get on buses. Like, it's like cots and bodies as far as the eye can see, man. Children, fucking babushkas, man. Like, everyone just pie-eyed and fucking terrified and sad looking and just fucking like suffering, human suffering on a scale unless you've ever been around something like that, you can't even imagine. And just so sad. Like, these people are just displaced, laying on mattresses, wandering around, shocked, and lost everything. And I'm just like, oh my fuck, this is the bus you're trying to put us on? I'm like, man. He's walking around like talking to different relief workers. I don't know a thing that's being said, and I'm just like maintaining my shit, right? But like, just like looking around like, this is fucked up. And finally I'm just like, listen, man, no. I'm like, no, I'm not taking the place. We're not taking the place of one of these people on these buses. Like, no fucking way, man. Like, it just won't. I can't do it. I will not do this, man. This is too messed up. He's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, man. And so finally I'm like, listen, dude, we'll walk. We'll just walk to the train station. I don't give a fuck. Like, let's go back, grab Ash and stuff, and we'll just walk the street. He's like, no. right? He's like, okay, come on, let's go. And so we bounce out, right? And get back in his car. And we drive over to the nearest train station. It's like about 20 kilometers at this point from this bus station, right? And it's just like and I'm feeling horrible, right? Like straight up horrible. I'm like, Jesus, like my complaint seems so insignificant and petty next to the scale of that suffering. And I'm like, I'm communicating this to this guy. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I came here to fight, but I cannot sign an indefinite contract. I have my own life. I have a job, a cat, I have family. Like, like I have my own responsibilities in my own life. And like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is, right? And the same with Ash, right? Like, we both came here with every fucking intention, right? But like, it's like I would have signed a 3-month contract for sure, absolutely, right? Ash, he would have been game for that as well, right? You know what I mean? But like, fucking indefinite, like. Anyways, so we get to the train station. This is like, oh fucking, this is incredible, man. Our Polish homeboy drops us off, and like I'm like, I try to give him money. It's just like, no, that's not. And I I knew this, that in Eastern Europe, like they don't want your money, man, right? Like that's just not how they operate. They're good folk, right? So I bought a Leatherman, for the journey into Ukraine and whatnot. So I was like, they always take a knife though. They'll always take a blade. So I, pull that off my belt. And I'm like, here, man, you take this Leatherman. And he was like, yeah, thanks a lot, right? And so I felt like we left our friend on good terms. We get to the train station and we're just like, holy fuck, dude. Both of us are just like, that was some mad shit, dude. Just sitting there like, like that was some shit we dodged, right? Like for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like going in there, yeah, scary, absolutely. But like, man, indefinite contract where it's like you lose all autonomy. I mean, you do anyways in a military environment, but when you sign away your own autonomy in that regard, like that's a whole nother level, right? Excuse me. So we're sitting there and, at the train station talking out, we're like, holy shit, right? And then we're like, oh shit, like you see there's refugees here too, man. Like the fucking refugees, man, fleeing their country being like, shelled and war, and this absolutely fucking pointless war that is doing nothing but like harming people, like good, wholesome, regular people that just want to live their fucking lives, right? And so, like, yeah, we're waiting there. It's a couple hours before the train comes. The refugees start streaming up onto the platform. I mean, I'm so absolutely impressed by the Polish people and the Polish authorities and how they deal with this situation and how they treated these suffering people, right? So we step back. We're like, you guys get on the train, like whatever. If we can squeeze on, we'll squeeze on. But like obviously, priority goes to these people, right? And children, old ladies, women, like and it's just. So they all load up. We're on the platform. We squeeze into one of the cars. We're like, it is packed, man. Like packed. Like, we're just got like a little corner that we're sitting in next to the door, and we're just hanging out. And the train starts rolling, and we're headed to Krakow, right? And so we're just sitting on this train. I got these cute children, these little girl sisters, like right beside me, and they're fucking absolutely exhausted, and they're sleeping on each other, and like regular people. At one point, we're trying to help people out however we can. They're just asking for things. We don't know what they're saying. We're trying to work it out. One lady wants to make a phone call. Ash gives her phone. Another lady's phone is dead. I have an extra battery. I'm like, here, have it. Fucking have it, right? Just these people are just, they've lost everything, and they're just going to who knows where. but they've got a good attitude, and they're just trying to carry on their lives, right? To see that and like be in such close proximity to that was something else, man. That was absolutely something else. All along the way to Krakow, it's about a 4-hour ride from where we were at the Ukrainian border to Krakow. I mean, at nearly every stop along the way, Polish straws like fire and police, whatever, would be waiting there with like boxes of food, water, stuffed animals for the kids, you name it, right? Like they really were doing a lot to help these people, and it was an impressive display of like just humanity. So, finally we fucking arrive in Krakow, and me and Ash are just like, fuck, man, that was some shit. Like the last like 24 hours we had just spent was fucking just bonkers, madhouse, crazy, you name it, whatever. But I mean, this is what it is, and so this is what's going on and where I'm at. Seeing this is now at like 21 minutes of video, probably the longest video I've ever recorded of myself. I hope it wasn't too long-winded or drawn out, but I just wanted to let everyone know where things were at. And so, like, anyone else considering going over there, do so. But be warned, like, this is no joke, and this is a serious, heavy commitment. And, like, I mean, obviously, Ash and I definitely had our heads on our shoulders. Like, the rest of this group, like, I'm telling you, like, I mean, one kid's like, oh boy, they give us the uniform. And we're like, yeah, but, you know, that generally most militaries do that. You know, like, they will kit you out, absolutely, but the commitment they're asking for is a serious, like, no joke. Like, you are in it, burn the boats, you know, victory or death, right? And that's basically what that contract is, right? And it, you know, both Ash and I were absolutely ready to get into the shit and help out, but like, I wasn't really. Neither one of us was ready to go that far with it. So, if that's something you're thinking about doing as well, be warned. That is what the conditions are. Okay. Those of you that have all been on my Facebook throughout this, offering support, you know, words of encouragement, fucking love, like all that, like I've absolutely been overwhelmed by all the responses. Like I had no idea I had so many people that cared about me. So thank you all. I'm gonna cut this short now. I'm in fucking Krakow at the Hotel Polonia. Don't know what the fuck I'm doing now, but I'll try and keep y'all in the loop and let you know what's going down. Okay, love you all. Bye.